Shalom. Thank you all for joining us for Children of Life Bible Study. We're going to go ahead and get started with prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for being in the midst of us here today and every day. We ask that you continue to grow us as adults so that way we can pass on this knowledge to our children, that they learn your ways, that they know you, have a strong relationship with you, so that way they know how to fight spiritually when the devil tries to attack them. And when they are tried in the fire, they come out like gold. Amen.
The Lord's Prayer, who would like to start us off? I know he started us off last week, so, but not start us off.
Oh, sorry.
What? Start us off. That was rough.
Very. All right. Let's redeem ourselves, okay? All right, we're gonna do the Lord's Prayer in English now.
Hallowed be your name. The kingdom come. The will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
All right, we have our credo next. And where's the credo?
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4.
All right, y'all can go ahead.
Shemaya Sharab Ahaya. The Lord our God is one Lord. Shemaya Sharab Ahaya. The Lord our God is one Lord. Shemaya Sharab Ahaya. The Lord our God is one Lord.
Next we have the Ten Commandments. Next time, raise your hand, please. Yesterday, what book of the Bible is no, what book of the Bible is Ten Commandments in?
Exodus 20.
Everyone say Exodus chapter 20.
Exodus chapter 20.
All right. Let's say the commandments together. What's the first one?
Thou shalt not have no other gods before me.
All right. What's the second commandment?
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images.
All right. What's the third commandment?
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Good. All right. What's the fourth commandment?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
What's the fifth commandment?
Honor thy father and thy mother.
All right. What's the sixth commandment?
Thou shalt not kill.
What's the seventh?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
What's the eighth commandment?
Thou shalt not steal.
What's the ninth commandment?
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
And what's 10th commandment?
Thou shalt not covet.
Who knows what's next? Yes. And where can we find that, America? All right, let's go ahead and say the fruits of the Spirit, everyone.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Against such there is no law.
Now we have the what?
Hebrew alphabet.
All right. You feel like everything else.
Right.
But okay. All right. Good job, everyone. What do we have next? The numbers. All right. We're gonna do 1 through 20, and then we'll do 21 through 30. All right. Let me hear you guys.
1 Akkad, 2 Sinai, 3 Subasha, 4 Rabbaaya, 5 Kamasha, 6 Sasha, 7 Subasha, 8 Simona, 9 Asara, 10 Ashar, 11 Akkad Ashar, 12 Sinai, 12 Sinai Ashar, 13 Subasha Ashar, 14 Rabbaaya Ashar, 16 Masha Aisha, 16 Sasha Aisha, 17 Aisha, 18 Mauna Aisha, 19 Aisha, 20 Aisha.
All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and get numbers 21 to 30, but just remember, guys, it's got a range. You guys can take your time saying them, okay? Okay. But we're all listening until we have to repeat it, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, Stein, you wanna lead us? Okay. All right. So I will say it, and then you guys repeat after me, okay? You can still talk about it, repeat us, okay? All right. You ready? 21.
21
Asharayam Akkad.
Asharayam Akkad,
22.
22
Asharayam Shanayam.
Asharayam Sinayam,
23.
23
Asharayam Shalasha.
Asharayam Salasha,
24.
24
Asharayam Araba'aiha.
Asharayam Araba'aiha,
25.
25
Asharayam Kamasha.
Asharayam Masha,
Thank you. 26.
26
Asharayam Shisha.
Asharayam Shasha,
27.
27
Asharayam Shaba'aiha.
Asharayam Saba'aiha,
28.
28
Asharayam Shemawana.
Asharayam Samawana,
29.
29
Asharayam Bisha'aiha.
Asharayam Visha'aiha,
30.
30
Shalashayam.
Samashayam.
We're gonna go over it more, but you guys are getting the hang of it.
No.
No? Oh, you were saying. Oh, okay. I was saying. Please, give me some more. All right. What's next? For now,
The color.
can you name a color for me?
Yeah. White.
Okay. Okay. What's white?
Levant.
Levant.
Oh, snap.
Okay. Let's say
That was one of the new
Let me
ones.
take a step back. All right. Who else we got? Who wants to name a color?
I do.
Yes.
White.
Which is white in Hebrew, in English.
Right.
Beige.
What's she saying?
Bride.
Bride.
Who can name another color in ancient Hebrew? Yes.
Blue.
Blue.
Cacao.
Yes.
Green.
I heard pink. Who said pink? Say it again. Okay, you remember what pink is? Or wild. Or wild. Yes.
Green.
Okay, what's green? Your wawa. Who can name another color? Yes. Orange. All right, what's orange? Cacao. All right, Kaya, what's your color? Kaya, you want to name a color?
Yeah.
All right, pink. Remember what pink is again? Pink is what? Wawa. Yeah, pink. Black. All right, what's black?
Chicago.
Any other colors? Yeah, I like pink. Yes, Azaya? Yellow. Zahawa. All right, what else? There's another color y'all missed. Go. You said black. Kawa. Brown.
Stop helping.
Kawa. You was helping?
No, I heard her. She said Kawan by herself.
Oh, there's another color y'all didn't say.
Yeah, you did. He over here said, but he ain't ready to say his hair.
Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, it's another color besides gray. Okay, what's gray? Yes, what is it? What's red? Thank you. I
He said, wrong.
All right, so we got red, Adawam, and then I heard a gray, a Pawar. All right. So y'all learned that pretty fast. We're going from that all together.
I know. Right? Somebody know working with it. Alright, I'm gonna point to it and you guys are gonna say it in English and in Hebrew, okay? Alright, first one.
White.
Kawam.
Okay, let's go yellow and black.
That was pretty. Oh man, we think those are sick.
You know.
Right.
Oh, yes. So now we're going to do the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. And we're going to go into the order according to Genesis chapter 49. Yes.
Oh, you guys don't have to turn there.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
gonna say the name of the tribe in English, and then you're gonna tell me what it is in Hebrew, okay? Okay? I didn't hear everyone.
No screaming.
All right, first one, Reuben. Simeon, Levi, Judah, Zebulun, Issachar, Gad, Asher. What was Asher? Naphtali, Manasseh, Ephraim, Benjamin,
And then last but not least, we're going to talk the books of the Bible of the Old Testament. All right, let's try to say them together, okay?
Job, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, First Samuel, Second Samuel, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, Psalms, Proverbs, Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, First and Second Kings, Ruth, Joel, Jonah, Amos, Hosea, Isaiah, Micah, Nehemiah, Zephaniah, Habakkuk, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Daniel, Ezekiel, Ezra 7-10,
Ezra 1-6.
1-6, Obadiah, Haggai, Zechariah,
Ezra chapter 7-10.
Esther, Nehemiah,
Let's do it one more time. I didn't hear everybody. And y'all take your time. Y'all ain't got to say it so fast, okay? Let me hear everybody, okay?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you know the books of the Bible in the Old Testament.
I do. I do.
So I should hear that many people.
I do.
Paying attention?
I do.
You know the books of the Bible?
I do.
Yes?
I do.
I know you know it. All right. So let's hear everybody. All those hands are up. I want to hear every voice, okay? Not screaming. Just saying them together nice and loud, okay?
Yay!
All right, on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Genesis.
Job, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, First Chronicles,
Okay, let's stop. Everyone say Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
Say it again.
Deuteronomy.
No, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
All right, let's keep that same energy. Keep it nice and loud, but we're going to say Deuteronomy, okay? Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. Genesis. Job. Okay, let's stop.
Whoa, what happened to that energy?
Raise your hand if you know the books of the Bible again, of the Old Testament. All right, let me hear all those voices, okay? Together. 1, 2, 3.
Genesis, Job, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Second Samuel, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, Psalms, Proverbs, Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, First and Second Kings, Ruth, Joel, Jonah, Amos, Hosea, Isaiah, Micah, Nehemiah, Zephaniah, Habakkuk, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Daniel,
Ezekiel. Ezra chapter 1-6. Obadiah.
Haggai, Zechariah,
Ezra chapter 7-10. No, Esther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all gotta take your time, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Today we are going to be doing the book of Ruth. Everyone turns to the book of Ruth.
Does anyone know anything about the book of Ruth or who she was? No? What do you know about Ruth?
Mother was Oprah, and her sister was her mom was Oprah.
That was her sister. And her mother-in-law was Naomi. Shut up.
Her brother. Let's see if she had a brother. We'll find out today. Okay, so some people know something about Ruth, some people do not, but it's okay. We're all going to learn about Ruth today.
2 girls and 1 boy.
We'll find out. We'll see, okay?
Don't turn
All right, everyone. Is everyone in the book of Ruth?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get some interesting facts about Ruth, and then we'll jump right in, okay? So the author of Ruth is actually unknown, but it is suggested that maybe Samuel wrote the book of Ruth. Also, the time frame on when it was written is unknown. Some people say maybe between 1011 BC to 931 BC. Not really sure, but we do know this book was written in the time of the judges. Who remembers the judges? Mm-hmm. You guys remember the judges? Okay. This is when this book was written around. Now, Ruth is also considered an historical book, and we'll see why later. There's many historical books in the Bible. This is just one of the few, okay? And then also, it's also one of the shortest books in the Bible. Not the shortest, but it's one of the shortest. And in the book of Ruth, we're going to see, it's going to talk about her life story, Yeshua's plan for her. It also talks about obedience and faithfulness. Doesn't those sound like good attributes?
Yeah.
Behaviors? Yes.
Yeah, talk louder.
Did Ruth marry Boaz?
Boaz.
Bozar.
Boaz. Mm-hmm.
Boaz.
Mm-hmm. So we'll take a look into that, yes. And that's a part of the plan. You'll see. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is chapter 1. Is everyone at chapter 1?
Yes.
All right. So in chapter 1, we're going to read and see what happened at the very beginning. All right, so we're going to read verses 1 through 2, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife, and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there.
So we have this man's name, Elimelech, and his wife. And their 2 sons. So far, we have 2 sons so far, Haziah, okay? Yes? Listen, okay? So he was the wife of Naomi.
Was he mixed?
No, she said, who's Elimelech? She doesn't say his name.
Oh, I thought she said is he mixed. No, Elimelech was the husband of Naomi.
And they had 2 sons, and they lived in Bethlehem, Judah. Now, they decided to leave because there was a famine in the land. Does anyone know what a famine is?
No.
Okay, so a famine is when there's not enough food for everyone. So imagine going to the grocery store and not seeing any, well, you might see this right now.
Right.
Yeah, no,
That's the grocery store. That's what food.
that's where food is at the grocery store. But imagine going to the grocery store where there's no food on the shelves. That's a famine. There's not enough food for everybody. Okay, let's listen now. Let's listen, okay? So if there's not enough food for everybody, it's not just for a few days, it's for a very, very long time, like years. But if everybody have to eat and there's not enough food, what do you do?
What do you think happens to the people who don't eat?
I will. They get sick. All right, so that's what a famine is. So there was a famine in Bethlehem, Judah. So they decided to move over to Moab. Okay? And now we're going to go ahead and read verse 3 and see what happened.
Ruth, chapter 1, verse 3. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons.
So who died?
How do you say his name, Deacon? It's Elimelech, but the kids don't pronounce it. Elimelech.
Not lemonade. You said lemonade. Elimelech. All right, so remember, he was Naomi's husband. So her husband just died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right.
Why he died? That was Yeshaya's fault.
The Bible doesn't say why he died.
Yeah.
It comes out. Yeah, sure.
All right. So he died, and then let's see what happened in verse 4, and then we have some questions for you guys.
Verse 4. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years.
All right, so a couple of questions. So before we get there, so Naomi, her 2 sons, they married 2 women from the land of Moab. Does anyone know who the Moabites are?
Pay attention.
Yeah. Good answer.
Okay. Can't get up past her.
So Moabites are people who are inhabitants of the land of Moab. That's a part of it.
So that's where they live. That's where they live.
Oh. The Moabites, they're a group of people. So just like we are Israelites, they're a group of people and they're called Moabites. And they live in the land of Moab. Well, they eat people? No.
They
Say
focus
it
well.
again.
They focus.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, that's not them. I
Those
mean,
are a different set of people.
yeah, the Bible will talk about that.
Yeah.
So, in verse 4, they died. Oh, wait, did I say that already? I said that right. No, so they got married. Now let's read verse 5. Oopsie.
Ruth, chapter 1, verse 5.
Yeah, verse 5.
And Milan and Kilian died also, both of them, and the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband.
So we got a lot of people dying. So far, Amalek died, and now the 2 sons have died. So the husband died, and now the 2 sons have died. So now it's just Naomi, Orpah, and Ruth are the only ones left.
Who's left?
Naomi, Ruth, and
Orpah. Good. So after that, Naomi decided to go back home to Bethlehem, Judah. And let's go ahead and read why in verse 6. So we're still in Ruth chapter 1, and we're reading verse 6.
Ruth chapter 1, verse 6. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread.
So does it sound like it's a famine going on in Bethlehem, Judah? There was, but it says the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread.
So is there still a famine? Are people still hungry?
Yes.
If the Lord gives them bread, are they still hungry?
No.
So is there a famine anymore?
No.
What does a famine mean?
No more. Not like food.
So if the Lord gives them bread, is there a famine anymore? No.
So after she decided to go home, she told her daughter-in-laws to go back to their home because she was going back to her home. But her daughters-in-law, they wanted to stay with her. They wanted to go where she was going. But she insisted, she told them to go back home. Let's go ahead and read in chapter 1, and let's read verses 11 and 13. Let's see what Naomi told them. Verse 11.
Find verse 11. Everyone should be looking in their Bible. Ruth chapter 1, verse 11. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will ye go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I should say, I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Would ye stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me.
So she's telling them, I don't have any other sons for you guys to marry. I'm not going to get married and have another husband and have another child. And if I do, are you guys going to wait until that child grows up to marry him?
That's Mary. That's Mary.
Okay, let's listen. Let's focus and listen, okay? They're not going to wait for her to have another baby like that baby right there and grow up to be 20-something years old, because when the baby's 20, they'll probably be 40, 50, 60, who knows? So they're not going to wait. So she was telling them they need to just go back to their home because she has nothing to offer them, nothing to give them. Okay, everyone with me so far? Yes, no?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, but Orpah, she decided she was going to go back and listen to what Naomi said and go back to her home. But let's see what Ruth did. We're going to read verses 14 to 17. So Ruth chapter 1. We're going to read Ruth chapter 1, verse 14 to 17.
Ruth chapter 1, verse 14. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. What does it mean to cleave unto something? Say it. What are you going to say?
Hug her.
Yeah, to hug her. She held on to her. Verse 15. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me.
So she decided to stay with Naomi, right?
Do they know what lodge means?
Do you guys know what lodge means?
Where I lodge, where you lodge, I will lodge.
So wherever Naomi lives,
Go wherever somebody goes.
Lodge means live.
close. So wherever Naomi's gonna live, that's where Ruth is gonna live. So they're gonna live together. So if
That's it.
all right. So let's quickly read verse 18 and then we'll move along.
Verse 18. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her.
All right, so they're on their way, and now we're going to see what's going on in Bethlehem at that time. There are going to be some words that you guys are going to hear as we read verses 19 through 22. One of those words is going to talk about a harvest, a barley harvest. Barley. Anyone know what barley is? Okay. But we'll explain it in just a few moments.
What'd you say?
Word.
All right, so we're going to read verses 19 through 22.
Yeah.
So right here.
Verse 19 through 22.
Yeah.
Ruth chapter 1, verse 19. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass when they were come to Bethlehem that all the city was moved about them. And they said, Is this Naomi? And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, call me Mara. What did she say call her?
Mara.
For the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. So why did she want to be called that? Because the Almighty dealt bitterly. Yes, Anissa.
Mara.
Mara?
Mara means bitter.
Yes. Verse 21. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest.
All right. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things. So Naomi's husband died and her sons died. So she didn't want anyone to call her Naomi anymore. She's like, just call me Mara. And what does that mean again?
Bitter.
So she wanted everyone to call her, oh yeah, bitter. All right. So, yes, barley, bitter. Think of some lemons. Do you like to eat lemons?
No.
What? Okay, you do.
Well, if you take a lemon and you bite the outside, do you eat the outside of the lemon?
No.
Because it tastes bitter.
Oh,
It's funny. Don't taste the inside. It's
Grandma
really
lemons.
good. That means that you can.
So that's the way
I
of
salty.
I think they might say yes.
Who want to buy the outside of a lemon?
I don't want
She got hurt. There's some kind of close that he wanted to.
Mama, I don't want
Does anybody want to bite it?
No. No. I don't.
Bite it.
Bite it.
Bite it.
Leave her alone. What does it taste like?
Shoot it up.
You gotta tell us what it tastes like.
What does it taste like? Sour?
That's bitter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll taste
Okay,
it all.
he's different. He just
He has no reaction at
No,
all.
see his face. His face.
everybody ain't gonna bite off of it.
Yeah.
I give you another one. They're brothers and sisters.
Oh my goodness, they're so different. They just.
You eat the skin?
Yummy.
It's actually healthy. for
Yeah,
you.
it's real. It's good for you.
I just want to drop it on me.
Kaya, don't take that.
Kaya, no. Give it to the brothers and sisters.
You gotta bite it.
You can
Bite it. Bite like an apple.
Hey, you got new teeth in your mouth. I know you
These
can
are
bite that.
loose.
They just grew
Oh my
in.
god. The ones next to the ones that just grew in.
Oh, hey.
Do you taste it?
We don't want her to lose no teeth now.
It's
They all
good.
come out of the limit.
Okay, Josiah, bite the other side. That's your sister. Bite the other side. Same DNA. Bite the other side. Hold it. You gotta hold it.
Bite it.
I can't find it. My teeth are too little.
Bite, bite it. Bite it. Press it to his mouth. Josiah, press it. Bite it hard. Bite it. Bite that thing, boy. Bite it.
Was that Kaya? Oh.
Okay, Kaya, let Kaya try. They can't bite it.
Can
That's
Kaya
what y'all children
Kaya
have.
can bite it. Yeah, Kaya can bite it.
Bite it, Kaya.
But look at his face so he can taste it.
Kaya did it.
Did she bite it? Okay.
Can't find it.
Well, let me get y'all some Ziploc bags because they ain't going home now.
You eating it? All right, but now
Yeah.
you feel different.
I mean, it's really good for you.
Yeah.
But so that is what bitterness tastes like.
I can do it.
I was trying to find y'all some barley, but we only have basil. Sorry. That's all. Who the touch that basil?
Okay. No.
Not
So-
stop touch that basil.
So for the people who didn't do it, maybe you guys can do it later with your parents. Try some lemon and see how it tastes.
Mine already ruined that. She already made the weed. They've done it before. Thanks to our
Oh, you want to try it?
No.
Try it.
Bite it hard, girl. Bite it. Bite it hard, baby. Bite it. No.
Bite it.
Use them teeth. Bite it. Bite it, girl.
We should try it.
Bite it like an apple. Push into it. There you go.
Oh.
Let me help you. Oh, you did it. Bite it again. Bite it. Okay, bite it. Don't taste it.
You don't like
Taste it.
No.
You like it? All right.
Okay. A little bit good. I want
Yeah.
to taste it
So that's the
Oh, we
lemon.
should get it a
Can
paper
I have
towel.
some water?
They need paper towels.
Yeah, we can do a paper
That
towel.
tastes good.
All right. So now we'll move on. So let's
Like a
bring it back in focus.
That's 80 because it's healthy for you.
Well, children are a little different.
Oh, it's still in your mouth.
Swallow it like a fish. No, I'm just kidding.
You want to bite it again?
Okay. Here.
All right. So
Put it down, throw it away. Here.
thank you. You need one too.
Aw. They were so brave. They just bit right into it.
All right. So now we're gonna tell you guys what a barley is. So barley is actually a plant, and it's a plant where actually some cereal come from. Mhm. So it's a grain. You can have the rest later. Did you taste it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Later, okay.
What kind of cereal you said?
It just when I looked it up, it just said a plant cereal.
You know, they have the actual box that says barley on it.
Yeah.
Mama.
All right. So while you're Luana Amanda looks to find an example, we're gonna talk about one more thing: the barley harvest. So when they would, a barley harvest is done in March, and when they harvest it, they're just picking the crop. So a crop can be corn, it can be barley, and they're picking it out of a field.
Is that called barn?
It's like farming, yes. All right. So remember these words because we're going to see these words in chapter 2 a lot. Another word we're going to look at is glean. Glean. So glean is actually when you gather something. So with our people, what they used to do, and people still do it today, some people, they would collect the crop, and the crop can be like corn, it can be anything, it's a crop. and then they would actually gather the stuff that was left in the field. So that's gleaning. So the people would come and harvest. Let's say this sheet of paper right here is the whole field, a whole field full of corn, right? So the people will come and they will harvest all of this right here, but then they will leave this section with some corn, this section, and this section. So they'll leave the corners, and then the people will come and glean off the corners, pick up what's left. You guys get it or no? No. So imagine all of this is a field, and they leave the corners.
So this is what people use barley
So
for one of the things.
So this came from the barley plant. I'll let you guys
Take one.
take one and taste it. Which one?
I remember my son. Look, my Sunday school.
Okay.
He is. He crying for it. Who's that? Yeah.
Did everyone taste it, or y'all still tasting them?
Pass it around. Let everybody get a taste.
It tastes dry.
Where's barley? Here.
So some of the cereal comes from that barley plant, and that's one of the cereals that come from the
I
barley.
feel like I'm eating real barley.
Oh, okay.
That's a kind of cereal.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now we're gonna move over to chapter 2. Okay. So everyone should be at chapter 2. I'll let the plate come back up so you guys can get to chapter 2.
Right.
Yes, you got some. You want some more? You want some more?
It feels like I'm in the field. I have stuff. It feels like I'm in the field with a lot of barley.
Well, you better bring your mind on back here to the Little Life Bible study. Sounds like I'm in the field.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
You can finish it off.
Yeah.
That's a new favorite cereal. I'm gonna get some raisins right. I take that back. I'm sorry. Something like this. It was good. Yeah. All right. So in chapter 2, Naomi has someone that's related to her. His name is Boaz. Now they're related from Amalek. So Ruth decides that she's going to go down to his field because he has a field of corn. So instead of barley, it's corn. Yeah, like corn on the cob. So he has a whole field of corn. Yes. What color is corn?
Yellow.
Yellow corn.
And a little bit of white.
Sometimes white. There's other color corn, but yeah.
It's purple.
Okay, stay focused.
So they went to the field. She went to the field to get some corn, and she was going to glean. Remember, with gleaning, they come after everyone else has taken the crops, and then they get the corners. Remember?
The leftovers.
Yes. Yep, the leftovers. So she went to go do that, and then guess what? Boaz saw her, and he wanted to find out who she was. So we are going to read in chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 5 through 7. Chapter 2, verse
Ruth
5.
chapter 2, verse 5. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheep. So she came and hath continued, even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house.
All right. So a reaper. A reaper is actually the person who gathers the crops. So let's go back to the example I showed you guys. Let's say this again. This piece of paper is all corn. Remember, it's just corn. Listen. It's a land. It's a field full of corn. And remember, the corners are left, right? So the reapers, they come in and they get everything here. They're gonna take everything here. You have to clean the corn. Well, the people take the ears off. So that's like, remember how the corn is yellow and then it has like the green over it? That's the ears. The husk. So it can be called the husk or ear. Okay. So the reapers come and they take all of this and then they leave the corners for other people to glean. So that's where Ruth is. Ruth is right here at the corners eating the rest of the corn. She's gleaning because the reapers took all of this. You guys got it? No? No? Okay. So let's say this plate was filled with the barley again, right? There was a lot of barley on this plate, right? And then you guys took all the barley. So let's say you guys are the reapers. You guys took all the cereal off the plate, right? And then you guys left a little bit. You guys left a little. Just look at it. Don't eat it. No, don't eat it. It's a little left here, 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 and here in the corners. So Naomi would come and glean a little bit y'all left.
So she
So
takes.
shake it on the napkin.
So Naomi came in. She got what was left,
And now show them the plate.
Now see the plate?
It's empty. Because she took what was left.
she took the leftovers.
Yes, left.
Yeah, her and
There
them,
we go.
we grouped and they had to eat. And they didn't have jobs. They didn't have money. They had to eat. So if people did that now, present days, if they went into the fields and the reapers only gathered what was in the middle and left the ends, people that didn't have money for food, they could go and glean, get what's the leftovers and take it to their house and eat. So that was, look, so remember how those models, they were like, what do you want to do? World peace and, what was that? It was world peace and, what was the other? Worse, no, it was in world hunger. There you go. Go to the field. That's how you end world hunger.
Yeah.
Because the Shire set it up where, everybody ate.
And just a little side thing.
And they had to, it was a law. They had to leave something in the field. They couldn't take everything.
Yep.
And if you think about it, on feast days, I know all of you know about feast days. After we eat the feast here, what do you take home with you?
Leftovers.
And what do you eat the next? And what do you eat the next day?
Leftovers.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same. Kind of the same thing.
And one feast day, we had a lot of food left, and we started giving it out to people in the neighborhood.
And maybe you guys can talk about that with your parents also. I'm pretty sure there's some farms around that still do that.
Now, I know, Aliana, you was in Arizona a couple of years back, and you were in the wet fields,
In the spinach field.
the spinach fields. What were the rules there?
So after you clean the spinach, you always get 3 branches and you leave the 4th because you leave them behind for cleaning and people go after the fruit's already been picked.
So it's still a thing to this day.
Yeah.
People can glean. But people don't know that. People don't know that. Really? Oh, all right. Well, see, they got you. Yeah, you do. Yeah, we knew about that.
Yeah.
You go and you pay for it.
You gotta pay for it.
But the thing about it, if you clean, it means it's free. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Now, did they have to pay for it?
No, but the watermelons on the side of the road you pay for, not free in the field.
So I need y'all to find me some fields that are free.
Right.
So she was in the field, she was gleaning, and she found favor in the sight of Boaz. And she was very thankful for that. Ruth was a very humble person. So in chapter 3, Naomi Naomi decided to tell Ruth what to do because she wanted Boaz to marry Ruth. But it had to be done a certain way. It was a certain protocol, a certain order, rules that had to be followed. Okay? So
They didn't have what's that site to catch up? Sometimes you go and do a
To catch a fish.
catch.com. They didn't have Christian.
plenty of fish or whatever it's called.
What's it called?
You got the name right.
They didn't have they didn't have a Christian Eagle back then.
So she told Ruth what to do. And Ruth was obedient. She followed every step that her mother-in-law told her to do. So one day when Boaz was in the field, he got done, he had some food, he got something to drink, and he laid down. And Ruth listened. And Ruth decided to lay down at his feet. And when he woke up, he noticed that somebody was at his feet. What would you guys do if somebody was at your feet when you were laid down? Nothing? Okay. Anybody else?
I think they were
You would think what?
waking me up like
They're trying to wake her up.
Oh, wake her up? Okay.
that'd be
Do something. All right. So, would anybody kick them out the bed?
no.
Oh, Mary's okay. All right. So, thankfully, Boaz didn't do that. So he realized it was Ruth, and Ruth wanted him to perform the duty of marriage to her. But it was a certain process that had to be done. So there was somebody else that was related to Naomi. And Boaz went to that relative to see if he wanted to marry Ruth instead. It's just a bug, pay attention, y'all. Have you guys got it?
Eyes up here.
All right, so Boaz went to the other relative to see if he would want to marry Ruth. He did not, so guess what? Boaz did. So Boaz and Ruth got married. And remember we talked about earlier, the book of Ruth was talking about her life. It talks about his history, and it talks about a plan, Yeshaya's plan, right? You guys ready to see that plan?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to read chapter 3, and we're going to read verses 13 to 22. Verse 13, and then
Okay. Ruth chapter 3 verse 13. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform
I'm sorry, chapter 4. Sorry, y'all.
oh,
Salakia.
verse
Salakia Baba Pacha.
verse and then skip to 18. Ruth chapter 4 verse 13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son.
All right, she had a son, and now let's see who came from this son. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys hear any names that sound familiar, okay? 18. Chapter 4, verse 18. Verse 18. Okay, verse 16, sorry.
Verse 16. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto it. And the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. Do we know who David is?
Yes.
I heard somebody say
King
it.
David.
Yeah.
What tribe is he from?
Judah.
Hebrew. Hebrew.
Yes. So what's Judah ancient Hebrew? Yes.
No, I was just saying, how do you say Judah
Judah in Hebrew. Hebrew is the language.
Yes. Verse 18. Now these are the generations of Pharez. Pharez begat Hezron, and Hezron begat Ram. And Ram begat Aminadab, and Aminadab begat Nahshon, and Nahshon begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Boaz, and Boaz begat Obed, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David.
So begat means they had a child, basically. So all these children came, all these people came from Ruth Ruth and Boaz getting married. So Ruth is actually a part of Yeshaya's family. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Ruth is a part of what?
So that was his plan for Ruth. But guess what? Yeshaya has a plan for every last one of us. We just have to obey and let him do the rest. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for the Children of Light Bible study. Yes, all praises. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Please join us for our next Bible lesson at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kwam Yashala.